So Vera, you found a lot of effects of adoption, and now what I'm hoping you can do is talk about adoption in a broad way. Obviously, adoption is mainly a good thing. If these children were not adopted, what would happen to them? They would live in foster care, or they would live in homes for children that don't have parents or something like that. So adoption is mainly a good thing, but there are some effects, and I want you to be very careful when you talk about how big these effects are and how serious and bad they are, because adoption, like I said, is mainly a good thing. When I think about all the children that are adopted, I think of there's a couple of variables that might make a difference in this kind of research. Number one, do they know they are adopted? Number two, what age were they adopted at? And number three, are they adopted into a family with a different race than theirs? Some white families adopt small black children, some black families adopt small white children. Obviously that would affect their adjustment. So you say here, many adopted people face with post-adoption problems, and then you list them all in your thesis statement. And I would not use many here. I would use some. And then as you go through, you're going to try to explain this more clearly. So you start off here, feelings of grief and longing. Okay, obviously these people know that they've been adopted, and the grief and longing, is that how negative is that? I mean, it could be painful, but it's not really exactly clear that this is a really dangerous situation. So your first reference here, Powell and Afifi, take out the year, we don't want that. And also put the period after the reference, not before it. So children begin to feel insecure because they remember, or their adopted parents remind them of their biological parents, or something like that, not reminds his biological parents. So you're getting some specific effects here. The feelings of shame and resentment never fully satisfy the expectations of adoptive parents. Where did you get that? I'd like those citations here. And a lot of this is very general, hard to measure, hard to put numbers on, but it's okay. I don't know if it's a really dangerous effect that this should be at the beginning of the paper. I'd like to see more obvious, dangerous behaviors, very clear negative behaviors at the beginning of the paper. So you're bringing out the idea here that a lot depends on how they communicate with their adoptive parents, and if they can openly talk about their feelings, then maybe it's not so serious of an effect. Of course, being adopted at a later age is going to, there's definitely going to be losses there, and that's very clear. And I'm not sure, I don't expect you to give a complete breakdown for all the different kinds and ages and types of adoptions, but I think you do need to mention this as a factor. Okay, self-esteem, fine. The nice thing about self-esteem, like you said here, it can be measured. There's a lower score. So self-esteem is important, and if you have those numbers, try to give them. Take out all these years. Here you're using, this is all APA style, but we're doing MLA. We just need the, and because you're giving very specific information here, you should be, I think, putting page numbers. And you like to put in these strong adjective, colossal. Now, if they said that in the research, then this should be in quotations, maybe 2 words in quotations, that you, according to this expert at this institute, they say it's colossal. Fine, I'm happy to hear what the experts say. So down here it says adopts are deprived. What you mean is adoptees, 2 E's. Their adoptees are the ones, the children that are adopted. Now some of them are deprived of all the information about the parents, you've mentioned here, but some of them are not. It's becoming more and more common these days for adopted children to get this information and find out about the real past of their biological parents. So down here you have some really serious problems, even things like theft and material damage, violating the laws, owning drugs. I mean, these are serious effects, and you have a good reference. Take out the year, but take out the first initials too. I don't really. Yeah, I guess you can keep them in if you want to. But I'd like some numbers here to have an idea how big are these effects. So finally, at the end, you are discussing that adoption is not bad or evil by itself. It has many good effects, and a lot of it depends on the adopted parents and how much love and attention they give to their children, as well as many other issues that I've already mentioned here. But even here, is this your opinion, or did you find this somewhere? I think you found it. So I want to see some citations. Down at the end here, I want to mention that your first full citation is following, I think this is correct MLA, but not these brackets. We don't put them on the years. But then all the other citations, it looks like the APA style, where you've got the author and then the year second. We don't do that in MLA. In MLA, the year comes near the end of the reference. And also very important here, this is not alphabetical order. So the first full citation, why are the initials first? I only want the last name, G, first. But why is the B, the third one, B, borders? This should be at the top of the list because it's in the ABC order. Borders comes before Grovent and before Powell. So you just need to switch this around. Also, you need to take out these numbers here. This should not be a numbered list. This, according to MLA, should be hanging indent, which I showed you in Microsoft Word. It is under the paragraph and indentation feature. If you can't manage it, well, I'll accept it without hanging indent, but I really will take off points if it's not in alphabetical order. So a lot of the full citations look relatively good, except they're all kind of in an APA style. They're not in an MLA style. As far as I can tell, the year should be at the end in the MLA style. And that's an important difference. Here in number 5, adoption trends today. This is you should be getting this off of the ECC website. They'll give you the correct MLA. This is not correct MLA right here, I can tell that. Because it doesn't This is the publication, Social Work Today. That should be in italics. So always there's one part in italics in MLA that is the actual publication, and none of yours have that here. Journal of Social and Personal Relationships, that should be in italics. That is the publication.